You ready? All right. Would y'all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and our prayer?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love, and we thank you for having Mike back with us after in his recovery. And we just pray for your guidance and wisdom tonight as we discuss the business of the school and the community and do the best that we can for the students. And we just thank you for this opportunity in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right. It is 7:30. We will call the meeting to order. And first up tonight is recognition of our Students of the Month.
Yep. We want to start with elementary. I saw that. Not that I'll bring that up.
Students of the month for December. Our first one is from Mrs. James's second grade class, Lydia Allen. Lydia is a great example of a model student. She's always prepared, listening, and ready to answer any questions, and a friend to all in our class. She is willing to help me or any other student in the classroom who may need it at any time. She always has a smile on her face and is a wonderful young lady, and I love having her in my class. That's from Mrs. James. Our other is Nathaniel Spence from Miss Murray's second grade room. Nathaniel is an exceptional student. He is always listening to what is being said, and he gives 110% of everything he does. He has already grown so much this year. Nathaniel is a great student and friend to all around. He is a kind, helpful, and willing to try new things, and has a smile that's very contagious. He will stop to help others and remind students of what to do next if they are lost. Anyone would be lucky to call Nathaniel their friend or student, because I certainly do, and he is just a great friend all around. And that's from Miss Murray's presentation.
Thank you. Mr. Alt, come on up.
All right. Our first student of the month, sixth grader, Mason Campbell. I don't think Mason made it because he has a basketball game down the road. It's a deadline. So here's what was written about Mason Campbell. Mason is very inquisitive, goes above and beyond, tries hard, and cares about his work. Mason is a pleasure to have in class. Also written about Mason, passionate about his schoolwork, is never afraid to ask questions when he doesn't know what to do. Grades are near the top of his class. He's a great example for the boys in our grade. So congratulations to Mason Campbell, even though he's not here. Lily, you're up. Lily Elmore, one of the nicest kids you'll ever want to meet. I've met a lot of kids. All right, here we go. She's such a pleasure in class. She has wonderful attitude. She's a hard worker. Lily is sweet and always willing to help. When cloning becomes available, would you like to clone? Absolute pleasure to have in class. Hard worker. Grades are fantastic. We need more kiddos like her. Okay. Congratulations, Lily. Good job.
Mr. All, Mason's dad just can't ask.
Can you reread?
Yeah, read it again.
Reread.
I'm on video too.
Yeah,
She wants
please.
We can take a video of you.
I don't really
First student of the month, sixth grader Mason Campbell. Mason Campbell is very inquisitive, goes above and beyond, tries hard, and cares about his work. Mason is a pleasure to have in class. Also written about Mason, passionate about his schoolwork, is never afraid to ask questions when he doesn't know what to do. Grades are near the top of his class. He's a great example for the boys in our grades. So congratulations, Mason Campbell.
school. Come on up.
Mallory's really excited about being recognized. Okay, ladies first. Ms. Shelton. Oh, yes, you do. Yeah. So how we do this is we email all the teachers and see if they have anything positive at all to say about the students. And we have some great ones tonight. From Ms. Boner, Mallory's an absolute joy to have in class. She brings a positive attitude, even when it's hard to be positive. She talks in discussion, asks questions, and makes sure that her work is done on time and helps classmates. From Mrs. Hayes, Mallory's a student who always does her best, even when the material is hard for her. She never makes excuses if she struggles with something. She just buckles down and does the work until she masters it. She's a great example and a hard worker in the classroom. For Ms. Pro, Mallory has a great personality and she does well in my class. She gets her work done on time and makes sure that she does what she's supposed to in the cooking labs. She's a good leader in the cooking labs and makes sure that others who aren't as confident receive some help. I don't know her that well, honestly. I know she likes to eat and chat at the back table in my room. Mrs. Van Deventer, Mallory is a joy. I love when a new idea lands for her because she smiles and her eyes light up the room. Even when the writing is lengthy and complex, she is a worker. Even if she is frustrated and tired, she is a worker. I'm excited watching her and how she will impact our world. And Mrs. Tarr, Mallory gives 110% in everything she does in calculus. She always asks why something happens in the way that it does, instead of just asking for help with an answer. My favorite part about having Mallory in class for the last 2 years is watching her when the light bulb comes on. Her whole face lights up, not because she's just a redhead, and the biggest smile ever comes out. Just a great kid. Nice work, Mallory. And Eli Southern, come on up, everybody. From Mrs. Boner. This is the second year of having Eli in class, and he always grows both academically and in his social life. He's a hardworking student, and I look forward to having Eli in the years to come. From Mr. Zapata, Eli is a fun student who has a great sense of humor, but also a great work ethic. He is more mature than most kids in the grade, which helps in class because it rubs off on some of his classmates. Yes, Mrs. Angle, Eli is always able to help out. He is hardworking, but knows when and how to lighten the mood. He has a great attitude and sense of humor, and is a pleasure to have in class. For Mr. Martindale, I appreciate that he's always willing to ask questions in class. He's not afraid to speak up or get help. I know this has helped others who may not be as comfortable being vocal in class, and I appreciate it. And for Mrs. Black, Eli has a great sense of humor and brings joy to the classroom. Eli is also always able to challenge himself with an intense course load, including AP level classes. It's a joy to have him in class. Eli. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you to the principals and all the staff that recommended these students. Parents and students, you are obviously free to stay, but I also want to give you the opportunity if you want to get home, feel free to leave at this time. Thanks so much for coming. Yes.
Congratulations. All right, this is the time we have participation in our meeting. If there's anyone who would like to speak tonight, going once, going twice. All right. Tonight we are adoption of agenda. It's recommended that the agenda for the December 12th, 2022 meetings be approved as presented with additions, corrections, or deletions as recommended by the board. Anything that we need to look at?
No.
Okay. Seek a motion for Martha? Second? Scott? All those four? Passes 7-0. Approval of minutes. It is recommended that the minutes from the November 14th, 2022 meeting be approved as presented. Need a motion? Scott? Second? Natalie? All those four? Mike, you weren't here, were you? All right, so 6-0-1. And approval of claims. It is recommended that the claims numbers 15513 through
15668
be approved as presented. Scott with the motion, second, Martha? Any questions on the claims? Nope. Okay. All those four? Passes 7-0.
Okay.
I love the new format.
All the claims?
Yes.
Yep. It is definitely much nicer. Okay, so that's now my part of the night. Next few items we have coming up are, it's the time of the year when I make recommendations to continue our administrators' contracts. We usually try to do that in December. So it's about a year and a half out. So obviously, I don't want anybody to read into anything about why every single one of our administrators aren't on here. We have a couple new hires. They won't come up for renewal until next December when they're at the same position as these that have been on contracts already. So with that, our first item is recommending to approve a one-year contract extension for Mr. Patrick Alt through June 30, 2024 as middle school principal, including a $4,000 increase in salary effective July 1, 2023.
Need a motion? Sharon? Second, Martha? All those four? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next up, same recommendation for Lindsay Bailey for a one-year contract extension through June 30, 2024 as a special education director, also including a $4,000 pay increase effective July 1, 2023.
Need a motion? Natalie? Second, Martha? All those four? Against? Passes 6-1.
Thank you. Next up, Eric Kirkendall making a recommendation to extend his contract through June 30, 2024 as high school principal, also including a $4,000 increase in pay effective July 1, 2023.
Need a motion? Mike? Second? Scott? All those four? Passes 7-0.
Thank you for that. Next up, I'm making a recommendation that we enter into a 3-year contract with a weather app called BAM Weather. It's at a cost of $2,400 a year. Lots of schools, sporting teams, colleges around the state are using them now, and they continue to grow. Basically, it's going to allow us, they work directly, they'll work with me to figure out how we want our map set up, so exactly what area of our district we want to pinpoint as far as getting notifications on weather, lightning, heat index, things like that. So it's going to make it very beneficial for us when making decisions on school delays or cancellations, for athletics when it comes to lightning, heat index, things like that. We're going to start off with me, Aaron Buskirk, and Dennis Carter having the access to this, because we're the ones that typically are making some of the decisions. If we need to add people later, we can. It's just that the cost goes up when you do that. So I wanted to start out with just us three and see how it goes. I reached out to a superintendent in the area that uses them. They've been using them for a few years now, and he says it's invaluable. It's helped him and his staff a ton. So that's the recommendation I would like to make.
Okay, need a motion? Scott? Second? Sharon? All those four? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next up is Aaron Buskirk brought to me a recommendation to continue our contract with Coca-Cola to provide us with products for our vending machines and our concession stands. It's a 5-year contract. Coke is going to donate $3,000 per year that will go to our athletic fund. So that's $15,000 over 5 years. We're also going to make a 20% commission on all vending sales. Based off of past history, that'd be a little over $12,000 over 5 years. Just depends on how much we sell. We did try to reach out to Pepsi so that we could kind of talked with them too, and never really heard anything back from them. So their loss.
All right. Need a motion? Scott? Second? Sorry, Heather. Got choked up there for a second. You'd think I was eating a caramel. All right, all those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to school calendars. We're doing something a little bit different this year. I'm making a recommendation that we not only approve the 23-24 calendar, but that we get ahead and approve the 24-25 calendar. Doesn't mean that we could never make changes just because you adopted. If something happens, you need to come back and change something, you can. But I just thought if we could get ahead here, start letting families know what the calendars look like, especially for vacations and things like that. Lots of schools do that. So we'll just try to stay a little bit ahead here. Very minimal changes in both these calendars. As of right now, we're continuing with our 4 professional development days throughout the year. Those do technically count as school days because we're counting minutes now instead of days. What else here? We're taking out the 2 built-in snow days in January and February. I think it gives us more flexibility in the calendar. It's kind of easier to do some things without those built in, especially since we're using e-learning and virtual days. So we'll just build in days at the end of the calendar, which those have always been there anyway. Let's see, spring break. You're going to notice that spring break is a week later than usual on the 24-25 calendar. We try to mimic definitely spring break with MCCSC because we send kids to Hoosier Hills Vocational Center or Career Center, and it makes it easier on our kids if the breaks can be very similar. So their spring break is a week later, starting, and it's the same way for 25-26 because they're ahead on their calendars too. So that's a change. Let's see. I also added on here that there's a statement there in the middle of the calendar that says graduation is a tentative date. Obviously, when you have to tack on days at the end of the calendar, if you have missed days, you might have to move graduation, and that might be beyond our control. Obviously, if we do that, we're going to give people plenty of notice ahead of time that is going to happen, but at least I felt like we at least need to put that statement on there. Okay, I think that's about it. So that's my recommendation on the calendars.
All right. Need a motion? Sharon? Second? Scott? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. We will get those up on the website as soon as possible for everybody to see if you haven't seen them already. They've been on the district with the agenda that people could look at before tonight, but we'll get those put up on the main page as soon as possible. Next up, we are recommending that we open a Crane Visa account to use for our Amazon purchases with a limit of $10,000. Amazon is ending the line of credit we currently use as of January 5th, 2023. So this helps us greatly with purchases we need to make and get shipped here in a timely fashion. So that's why we're making this recommendation.
Okay. Need a motion? Mike? Second? Sharon? All those for? Passes 7-0.
What would we do without Amazon, right?
They show up every day at my house.
Pretty much mine too. Thank you very much. I thought I was the only one.
No. Sometimes twice.
This next one is kind of a year-end thing we always do. Indiana law requires school boards to complete the financial year with all accounts in the black. Therefore, we are allowed to transfer money from surplus accounts to deficit accounts in accordance with the provisions of Opinion Number 11, Office of the Attorney General, dated June 28, 1996. Transfers within the Education Operations Fund, School Lunch Fund, and Debt Services Fund are recommended. So it's basically just allowing Mariah and Marilyn to make transfers between funds to make sure those are in the black. That's my recommendation.
Need a motion? Mike? Second. Natalie? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next up is year-end claims, making the recommendation that the board allow the superintendent and treasurer to pay all claims necessary to finalize year-end closing. Obviously, between this board meeting and the end of December, there still could be some claims that we need to pay, and those need to get paid to kind of help close out the year-end books. So asking to allow us to do that, and obviously we will make you aware of those claims that are being paid.
Need a motion? Scott? Second. Martha? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on, recommending to the board that we approve the cancellation of all old checks as presented to you in your board packet.
Need a motion? Mike? Second. Natalie? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Next, I'm recommending that we extend Kim Hill's leave of absence as requested by her. She hopes to return on March 20th after spring break. So just wish her well, but she is requesting that we extend that, and we were able to get her some more days to help out with all that too. So.
Okay. Mike with the motion. Second. Natalie? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to some employment. First is high school softball. I'm making the recommendation, and so is Mr. Buskirk, to employ the following as high school softball coaches for the 23 season. Head coach, James Tommy Bell. Assistant coach, Elijah Ramey. Another assistant coach, Jared Tiemann. And volunteer assistant coach, Lori Bell.
Okay. Need a motion? Scott? Second. Natalie? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Next item is a recommendation to approve Jeffrey Graham as the 22-23 Winter Athletic Event Coordinator. Mr. Buskirk, I think, talked to some different people who might be interested, and I think Jeffrey's schedule worked out best, so he's being recommended for the winter one. We'll probably come back to you in the spring for a spring one also.
Okay. Need a motion? Martha? Second. Sharon? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Next item is a recommendation to approve Dylan Abel as the varsity girls track coach for spring 23.
Okay. Need a motion? Martha? Second. Sharon? All those for? Passes 7-0.
And next, we have a recommendation to approve Bill Valentine as the varsity boys track coach for spring of 23.
Okay. Need a motion? Scott? Second. Martha? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Next item, we are recommending to approve Jacob Carmichael as the varsity boys golf coach for spring of 23.
Need a motion? Scott? Second. Mike? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next up, we have some baseball assistant coaches to recommend. Recommending to approve Todd Inman and Michael Love as assistant baseball coaches for the 23 season.
Nicole? Need a second? Scott? You beat me to it. All right, all those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Nicole makes good choices.
Taking a drink before I read this next stuff. This is a long list. So as usual, we have a very generous community. We have a bunch of donations. The next, I'll kind of group these a little bit. The first several are all donations to the Eastern Green Bowling Club. Once again, Mr. Clary, he knows how to get out there and get donations.
I think we need a fashion show with a bowling team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see the shirts.
Yeah. I'll try to get some pictures. Okay, so we have $50 from Brandy DeWeese, Carpenter Realtors. We have $100 from Kathy Clark, $50 from the Gilreath family, $50 Owensburg Auto, $50 from Whaley Hauling, $50 from Martin and Tessa Wolfker, $50 from Idle Arbor Inc., $100 Philip and Dorothy Clary Trust, $200 from William and Diane Parsley. Yep, that's all for the Eastern Green Bowling. Next up, we have a couple that is being donated to FCCLA. That's the high school fax class club. $200 from Ramon Excavating, and $20 from it should be Dave and Linda Kilmer on there. That's actually my in-law, so that's why I know who it is. So that's the FCCLA. I think most of the rest,
Looks like
just a couple at the bottom are going to be athletics, but the rest are going to, almost the rest anyway, going to the Hunter Roberts Nancy Hacker Memorial Fund. We have $100 from Ted and Margaret Bechtold, $300 from William Parsley, $25 from Philip and Rebecca Egenolf, $25 from Michelle Aliano, $20 Andy and Marianne Cheney, $100 from Martin and Tessa Wolfker, $50 from James and Diane Fisher, $200 Marvin and Carolyn Huffman, and Bob and Allison Cruz, $100 from the Egenolf family, $20 from Bryce and Becky Helton, $25 from Fred, Ruthann, and Matt Floyd, $50 from Sharon Yarber, and $50 from Mark and Nancy Clenzy. And then the last two, $500 from Darlene Lewis Trucking to Eastern Green Athletics, and $2,000 from the EG Boys Basketball Booster Club to the high school athletics to be used for the cost of a Dr. Dish shooting machine and the Huddle subscription. So once again, thank you to everybody making donations, and those are the recommendations to accept.
Okay. Need a motion? Sharon? Second? Martha? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. We do have just a few late items. Most of those are more donations. But the first one is a coaching recommendation. Mr. Martindale is making a recommendation that Jake Cole, he's one of our middle school teachers, be the head track and field coach for the middle school this spring.
Need a motion? Scott? Second? Martha? All those for? Passes 7-0.
Thank you. And then, like I said, we just have a few donations that we need to put on here. So we have, these are to the Hunter and the Nancy Hacker Memorial Fund. Linda Crow, $50. Kenneth Thompson, $50. Dan and Wendy Colglazier, $50. And Jim and Rhonda Crow, $150. And Russell and Kelly Gray, $150. And those are the other additional donations.
Okay. Need a motion? Scott? Second? Sharon? All those for? Passes 7-0.
And that is completely it for any late items. So that takes care of the bulk of the agenda.
All right.
Next, we just have discussion or information items. Principals, I'll leave it up to you. What order you want to go in, so feel free.
7 days. 7 days. We're counting down.
Oh,
Just like the kids, we're counting down. First, I'd like to thank Mr. Ron Childress and Ms. Marmazag for their supports and efforts during their time on the school board. Just appreciate all the care and consideration that you both put into your decision making, and I wish you the best for future endeavors. So, I'd also like to thank Ms. Reagan, Ms. Janess, Mr. Ray, Ms. Ducksworth, and their teaching assistants. We have successfully completed our annual case reviews for the school year. That's mainly our special education students. Without these wonderful teachers and teaching assistants, our inclusion model would not work. So I really do appreciate. There were a lot of hours in the conference room with a lot of parents and a lot of students going over what was best needed for them. So I really do appreciate all their efforts. We are currently holding on to a 90.5 attendance rate for our next semester. We are actively pursuing a goal of a 2.5% improvement to that rate, and so we're doing everything we can to make sure the kids are there, learning and doing what they need to do to be successful. I want to thank Mr. Birch, Ms. Martindale, Mr. Hutchison, and Ms. Jean for their continued efforts in the after-school tutoring. Thus, since August, we have actually tutored over 150 students, which has been fantastic. So the program is very, very successful, and kids are getting the additional support that they need. I'd like also to thank Mrs. Provo for a delicious Thanksgiving dinner. Her kids did a fantastic job. And then we also plan to continue the holiday traditions by the staff participating in the Christmas potluck and Secret Santa next week. So once all the finals are done, so kind of a little bit of a celebration for ourselves. We would like to invite all 8th graders, current freshmen, sophomores, and juniors to our open house on January 11th from 5:30 to 7:30. This is an opportunity for parents and students to ask our teaching staff questions and to learn about the programs that we offer. I especially want to invite any students who are interested in AP or CTE classes, where they will have specific information about each of the different programs. One of the issues that we're trying to combat is some mental health issues. We've seen where some students have stacked up on 4 or 5 AP classes, and they kind of implode throughout as it gets very, very hectic and crazy and stuff. So we want to actually help that by providing the information before scheduling takes place, so that parents don't put that additional pressure on them to sign up for everything. And we're hoping that will not only help the success rate in our AP and CTE classes, but also make for a better, well-rounded student who's a little bit more prepared and a little bit more successful. I would like to congratulate Dalen Tolliver, Brinley Perkins, Brianna Johnson, and Maddox Alt. They were nominated in recognition of outstanding academic achievement to represent Eastern Green for IASP's Rising Stars Indiana program. So this is a program in which I generally nominate the top 4 students in the junior class as the Rising Stars of Indiana. And again, that's due to outstanding academic achievement. I would like to congratulate Mr. Mike Adams, Mrs. Kim Waldridge, and Mr. Dennis Crow on successful campaigns, and I look forward to working with you guys as you do your best to serve this community in the upcoming years. So, best of luck to our high school students starting on Friday. They will begin their finals. So we are doing a 3-day final rotation, where we're doing two finals on Friday and Tuesday, and then 3 finals on Monday. And last but not least, just want to wish everyone a happy and joyful Christmas break. Be safe, and we'll see you again in the new year. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirkendall.
We've had more donations than I can ever remember. People wanting to donate than ever before for kids in need. So thank you to everyone who has donated and also has called or emailed as well. I've never in my life felt like I had to turn it down ever. It's never happened. That's how many people are calling and reaching out. So it's a neat thing. It's really neat. Thank you, Mrs. Campbell and her family for taking on purchasing and shopping for gifts for the DCS Angel Tree. They filled up a minibus full of gifts, so I thought that was really nice. Thank you to Mrs. Uxworth for bringing the Santa shop back after being gone for a couple of years with the pandemic. Students are able to pick out gifts for their family and have them wrapped here at school and take them home in a box for the family, so that's super nice. A huge thank you and shout out to all teaching assistants at the middle school. Not only do they do a great job, we are having them sub a lot right now and cover classes because of the sickness. They're always flexible and willing to jump in. I think that's really nice. Thank you to Kathy Aldridge. Trent wrote the CTE grant, so we have Kathy this year and next year. She's doing a lot of stuff with career pathways, working with Sean and Deeper on that. With all grades, 6, 7, 8, but especially 8. She's doing a great job. She planned a college and job fair for this Wednesday from 9 to noon. So we'll have the whole gym set up. People from many professions, also I think 5 or 6 colleges coming. So not stop in and get a table or something or just come in and hang out. I'm excited about that because I watched it for 4 years in the previous school. And so I plan to have it this year and going forward it'll grow. The kids need that. I'm going to embarrass Dustin now, so I'm looking forward to this big time. I want to take a minute to celebrate Dustin George. And I actually wrote on here, he's probably embarrassed as I read this because he's humble, but I feel like I need to do this. He's doing a great job at the elementary school. I knew the first day out on bus duty that he was the right person for the job, as I saw him go down to a knee to help a child tie their shoes. He does this almost daily outside in the morning. Dustin cares about kids so very much. It's very evident to me. He is also very easy to work with and communicates well with us. I hope he has found a home, a permanent home at EG. Thank you, Dustin. Lastly, I must thank the entire adult population in my building, no matter what job they do. Everyone is really planning some neat and fun activities for our students as we go into Christmas break. I'm also impressed by the level of care that everyone has for the students in our building. This is a great group we have. We're very blessed. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations again to Spencer and Lydia, our December Students of the Month. Last Thursday night, they performed their first Christmas concert since 2019, I believe, for their families and friends in our gym. It's a wonderful event. Mrs. Drummond for all of her hard work that goes into preparing that. Thank you to our PTO for hosting movie night here last Friday night. Our staff has been taking part in 12 Days of Christmas, Dress Up and Theme Days. I really appreciate the team rally and the community businesses and members who donated prizes for that. It's been a fun activity for our teachers and staff leading up to the holiday period, that crazy time here between Thanksgiving and Christmas. They filled up our gumball machine outside of the main office. The students earned their school-wide incentive. They're rewarded for behaviors that go above and beyond expectations with the gumball, and we were excited to fill it up and very proud of those who helped do that. On Monday the 19th, the gym will be filled with inflatables as an incentive for good behavior in these last 3 weeks between Christmas and Thanksgiving. Anyone in education knows how difficult those weeks are, so we want to reward the kids with something nice. Believe it or not, we still are working on academics as well. In the elementary right now, we're working on our winter diagnostics. We are not 100% completed with all the absences that we've had in school the last week and a half. But so far, I am beyond excited about the growth that we've shown from fall to winter. It's really encouraging to see. And I couldn't be more excited to have Dr. Morgan joining us in January. as the assistant principal in the elementary building. Congratulations to Mr. Adams, Mr. Crow, and Mrs. Waldridge on their election results. And lastly, I wanted to acknowledge, congratulate Ron and Martha. Although I've only been here for half a year, I appreciate them very much and will certainly miss their presence on the board. I encounter a lot of people who tell me they wouldn't want my job as an elementary principal, but I can guarantee you I would much rather have mine than yours. So I want to thank everybody here and wish you a Merry Christmas, happiest New Year's in the weeks to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go Hilltoppers.
They're still not winning games since I saw you last.
Trent?
Just a couple things. Once again, remind parents to please make sure that your contact information is up to date in Harmony for how you want to get notifications on weather delays, snow days, things like that. It pulls directly from Harmony, so when those notices go out for me, it picks up your email, your cell phone, texting, all of that. So just make sure that is up to date, if you would, please. Obviously, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Want to just say thank you to each one of our school buildings. I believe each one of our school buildings is doing at least one, I think even multiple kind of philanthropic things for our community. So that's always wonderful to see, so thank you for that. I want to say thank you to the staff at all buildings, but especially this building here, middle school, elementary, for last week. Last week got very interesting with both staff and student absences, and the staff here in both levels pulled together and got everything covered, and I think we're back to the land of the living now. We're much better after the weekend, which is good. So, but yeah, we had a lot of absences last week with the flu and stuff going around. So thank you for everybody who covered, and I think that's it from me.
Scott, anything?
Yeah, first of all, Mark, thank you for stepping up, filling a void. You've done a wonderful job on our board for many years. And to Ron, my friend, it's been some interesting times, hasn't it?
It has.
It's been through some interesting. I can't say thank you enough for what you've done for this board. You've been a true leader for us. I know you've made some decisions you haven't always agreed with, but you know what? You've done what you thought was best, and you can't ask for more from a leader. And I really appreciate it. And I have to say, on top of that, I gave a friend out.
Thank you.
And I thank you for all your service, and you're going to be sorely missed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I just want to say, Ron's been great working with you and getting to know you in this position, besides as a parent, all your voice, and I just want to thank everybody on the board for making my time here mostly very pleasant. Things there where I was like, oh, what did I do? What did I do? But it's been very educational, and I'm going to start coming to the board and just to keep up with what's going on in school. And I do want to say, I know there was a lot of sickness like this week, but I think the plus we can draw from that is we had a lot of absence, and I think that's a good sign, because that means keeping home.
Yep, stayed home.
I look at
That helps.
a plus.
Yep.
It's a good governors.
Yep.
And just thanks for everybody working with me, love the school.
Heather?
I guess echoing what Scott said, thanks to Martha for stepping in and serving. Thanks to Ron for all his years of service. Elaborate too much on that because just for repeating what Scott said. Somebody else, I said last meeting that I didn't like to do personal things or specific call outs, but shoes that we just got that we located at Patrick Alt's office within minutes the next morning, which I just really appreciated her going, that's way above and beyond what she has to do. And she does that a lot. Every time I drop off in the morning, she has the best smile on her face, and she just always warms my spirit, makes me feel better.
She's still having at the end of the day too.
Yes, she's just that kind of person, and I just wanted to give her a little bit of recognition tonight.
That's good.
So, thank you, Ron. He's been a friend on the board, but he was a friend when I was principal, so it was just, thank you.
Just carried over.
Same for Ms. Martha. It was fun to have us work together in this role. Thank you for stepping up.
Yeah, it's a different side of it.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's a real different, it's a whole different side. I did have a couple of just kind of business kind of things I was gonna ask Trent for in the spring, probably better in the spring. I still get the IDOE newsletter every Friday and I go through that diligently, and the language is becoming less and less clear, kind of like the pathways that Eric was showing. But one of the things that I would like, as the DOE makes that GPS, the new accountability process clearer, it sounds like it's still really muddy, but
Yeah.
we're coming. But if you can keep us up to date on what they're doing on that. And then the other one I was wondering about, and again, it sounds really muddy and with lots of strings attached, but the funding and programming for 4th and 5th grade tutoring. And just on how if Eastern even wants to jump into it, or whether they've got it covered, or you've got it covered. But those are just things I'd like to hear about later on.
I can give you answers to both of those right now if you wish. The GPS, I'll probably do a presentation, possibly at a board meeting, pull that up sometime. You're correct, right now it's still a little bit muddy, and I would hate to do that and then they change something, so I'd like for them to get it a little bit more fine-tuned, and then yeah, we'll definitely get some information out to you. For everybody out there that might not know what that is, the state is putting out a new, what they call GPS. It's a new way to keep patrons informed about your school district. So a lot of the school data is going to be on there. They're moving away from letter grades, and it's going to be more just here's the data, here's what it looks like, and not only iLearn and SAT scores and things like that, but just all kinds of information across the board about the district. So when that becomes less muddy, we'll definitely get some more information out there. And then the tutoring, we actually got a list of kids who were eligible. You had to meet certain eligibility requirements for that, and most of the time it has to do with family income. So we got a list, I think, of 19 students in the elementary that qualified for that, and we sent that information on to the parents because the parents have to sign up for it. So we got that out to parents just last week. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, anytime.
Natalie?
Are you sure? Well, I haven't been here that long, but it's truly been a pleasure to run into you more at the elementary school, coming and going. So it's been nice. And I've heard wonderful things about you and your past days here from someone I live with. So that's nice. That's nice. You've been talked about positively for a long time. And Ron, it's wonderful. I'm so glad that I've got to know you in a different way, and I'm going to continue to make you spend time with me.
Yeah.
He does know.
I had to get one more in.
That's it.
Thank you. Mike?
Martha, Ron, it's been a pleasure. I know we don't agree on much, but I thank you for your professionalism, for your service.
Thank you, Mike.
And I had one other question for Trent. Operational fund, you could put out something that we gotta be very careful with operational fund. We don't have any money in it. What's the deal with that?
We've had a lot of expenses out of operations this year on just upkeep of buildings. HVAC, you name it. So no, we're not bankrupt. No, but we got to be very careful in
Next
our
year's
spending.
budget gonna be the same as this year's budget, right?
No, we have to be even more careful with.
Why is that? I mean, money's not available.
Yeah, there's just going to be less money in the operations fund. Yeah.
Where does it go? I mean, it's gonna be less than what we had this year?
Yes. Well, we will have
And
less
why-
to spend.
Why is that?
Because when you spend your appropriations and you start spending some of your cash balance, you're going to have less to spend the next year. So next year, my recommendation is that we do not take on any major projects outside of, obviously, emergencies. So we build up our cash balance again.
Any update on the AC, the boards,
Oh,
the chiller boards?
Yes, HFI just sent another email. They were supposed to ship on December 9th. We haven't heard whether they shipped yet or not. HFI just contacted the company again yesterday to find out if they shipped or not, and we haven't heard back yet.
Okay.
So it's like anything else, waiting game.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, it's been a privilege to serve on the school board. It's been 8 years, and even with the challenges and the trials and tribulations, it has been a pleasure. It really has to be able to work through a lot of the challenges that we faced and to do it together as a group. And I've really appreciated that. Even among our differences, like Mike said, we were always professional and looking to do what was best for the community. And so I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to serve in this manner. So thank you all very much. Anything else, anyone? With that, it is 8:21, and we shall adjourn. I need a motion. Scott? Martha with the second. Last one. All those four? Passes 7-0. We are done.